Okay, Team Buffalo's second question is, what has been done thus far to attempt to tackle these challenges? Has there been any successes or things that have not worked? This is a difficult one to answer. I'm assuming the question is referring to the challenges that I sent through originally, um, which I'm going to try and find quickly and go through. In terms of private providers, how do we convince the market that we're as good or on a cheaper, smaller budget? It's been advertising primarily, trying to convince, and talk about value, talk about how much they're getting, that all learning materials included in the price, for example, putting that on our marketing material, telling that to schools, telling that on social media. It hasn't really worked that well. I mean, and I'm thinking maybe the solution is to move towards more of an emotive message than one of value. Maybe the market isn't listening to when you talk about value, etc. I'm not too sure. I think we've failed so far. I think we really do need to change the perception of in the market that private is better. This has worked really well in schools, where private schools, if you say private school to someone in South Africa, they know it's better compared to public schools. And we need, I think that in general, the private, tertiary education sector has to come together and say, what are we going to do to change this public sentiment? Because believe me, I'm saying this completely honestly, private is better. I'll try and go into this in greater detail when I see you guys in December, but it breaks my heart seeing young people go to public institutions and get inferior products and be just a number and have a 1 in 3 chance of actually making it through and graduating. It's awful what's going on, and I think the public has to eventually realize this, and I think it's going to happen. The unfortunate thing is public institutions are free, more or less, and that's our challenge. I do think the strife in university will be to our advantage. We don't. There's nothing we can do to do something about that. I mean, you can go and you can be radical and try and call them out on it from a brand perspective, but do you want to be controversial? I think the market just has to kind of come around that universities aren't the way anymore. How do we open doors for our students to get employment? We tried this thing a while ago where we created this sort of simulated work environment in our campuses. And my feeling is that it really just wasn't good enough. It was too toned down. It was too cheaply done. I believe we need to look at longer term partnerships with the right employers. But ultimately, I think where that's fallen down a bit is that employers want something out of the deal as well. What am I getting? And I think the best thing that we can offer them, and this is for me, as a marketing person, I get quite involved in product because from a marketing perspective, I don't believe that you grow brands through advertising or marketing. You just help brands through advertising and marketing. Brands are built on great student or great user experiences, great customer experiences. And that's what I really want to see us doing. And if for me, the biggest thing we can do, the biggest thing that's going to build our name is the quality of the graduates, that we're going to build our name, that employers out there are actually going to start looking for graduates that have come from MSC. So it comes down to product and delivery. How do we increase student numbers? I think it's a long-term thing. It really is. Because I think it's based on the quality of your product and the quality of your students, and that to build that reputation takes a lot of time. So I think marketing has a place, branding has a place, but I think the most important thing is the quality of what's going on in the campuses.